Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. This is Safe Sekalala. And normally I don't draw attention to my the name and the titles and whatnot on, on this first slide, but there's a reason I'm highlighting the PMP. You can probably guess what it is. If you've been following if you've seen the rest of the episodes, you can guess why. If not, I'm gonna tell you about it. And anyway, again, my name is Saif Sakalala. Thank you for joining me again. If just regardless if you're coming back or if this is your first time on my channel, just welcome. All right, thank you for being here. So let's get started. And as I always like to do, I want to do some shout outs first to, as always, to Code for Philly. Oh, well, first of all, just going back a little bit, a quick overview of what this episode is about. So this is the September 2023 vlogging self challenge outro, right? So remember, the reason I've been the videos that I've been recording this month of September 2023, I declared a self challenge beginning of the month, beginning of this month. It followed another self challenge that I had given to myself. I challenged myself to do I think it was blog entries on my blog page, and that's on my site. You can find that on my site, professorsafesekala.org, prof SEIF SEKALALA.org. You can also get there by typing into using the URL long live people. So long live LONGLIVE people one word.com. And so after that self challenge, this was the month of August. It was successful. I pulled it off, and I said, you know what? Let me just do another one. And so that's the month of September is what it was. And it lent itself well because the self challenge lent itself well uh, to my purposes because I'm just trying to just you know doing my phraseology there because I do have a campaign going on right now. It's going to be an indefinite campaign for as long as possible. I don't know. I mean, for as long as it takes, the Long Live People campaign. Long live and you can learn anything. This is my own little contribution to just helping us all in this age of Web.3 and you know Chat GPT, and all this AI and all these technologies that like are making a lot of us uncomfortable or even before all the current just the cutting edge technologies, the ones that we have right now, like for instance Google. Just a lot of folks, a lot of us have pointed out on these episodes before, we don't use Google enough, nowhere near as much as we should. So the long live people and you can learn anything. Long live people is just first of all just about trying to like say, folks, let's calm down. AI is not gonna take over the world. AI is not gonna the whole scenarios of from like the Terminator and the Matrix. Yeah, those are not gonna happen. Let's just calm down and instead of fretting about technology, we can use it to our advantage. So that's what the Long Live People campaign is about. And then also, maybe related to that is just a different one. You can learn anything, anything you put your mind to. So I hadn't done that overview, so I just had to like go back there real quick. All right, so now we can get right into it. First, the dedications. I always like to do some dedications at the beginning of this show. The whole month, I've been dedicating the episodes to a lot of some folks. First up on the list is Code for Philly, the volunteer organization with which I volunteer, and in particular the Flask Project. That is the particular project with which I volunteer. Flask is a web app, and so the spelling's right here: PHLASK.me. So if you go to your URL on your phone, it's specifically it's a web app, but it's set up to be used. It's both. You can use it both on your phone and or a desktop, a laptop, whatever, or a tablet, whatever. But we it's more built for kind of like when you're out there, you need some, you want to get some water, you want to find a bathroom, you can like just pull up the app. And this is for the city of Philadelphia. We are going to be expanding to just to all over the world. Really, we can little by little. We're first expanding to Delaware and South Jersey, and then eventually, I believe we just got a volunteer from actually from Kampala, Uganda, and so hey, we're gonna be in these cities all around the world, little by little. We're gonna scale up. Anyway, and then my buddy Tony Kencha say, bro, Chichi, Ngombuze, what's up? What's up, bro? Ngombuze. All right, so that's my buddy Tony Kencha. Tune into his show. Those of y'all in Kampala, Uganda, Magic 100 FM. He has a morning show, I believe it's called Wake Up with Kent. And then finally, Professor Belinda Goodrich. She has her books, Professor Goodrich's books, her PMP exam prep books are the ones that I used to, from which to draw material for the PMP prep episodes, and they are just wonderful. I can't, just go watch those episodes if you're watching this and when you happen to be prepping for the PMP exam. Um, her material is really good. By the way, I passed, so that's the reason I have this up here. Like I'm allowed to use the what do you call it? The credential now, right? So her stuff is really good. Now, obviously, you have to study hard. It's it's just it's not magic. It's not like you get her book and then you just pass. You have to study. All right, so let's just get right into it. Done with the dedications, and I'm trying to keep this really if possible, less than 20-ish minutes. I think I'm already at like probably. I'm guessing I'm probably at like a 5, 7, 8 minute mark right now. All right. So first, just gonna recap what the episodes have been about, what the vlogging challenge, what we've covered, and so. I'm abbreviating the long live people and you can learn anything as LLP, and then YCLA, you can learn anything campaigns. And just to first of all, just first slide I have here is a recap of what the episodes were about. The first one was an intro to the series, to the self challenge vlogging series. All right, I just that's enough said, and that's clear enough. And obviously, you can just go watch these. But I just wanted to do a quick recap here. And then the second set of episodes. Before we got to that, there was an interlude for the Jerkyology preview. Now, the month has ended, September has ended, and the Jerkyology episodes are not on here yet. But I do promise, all right? And just mark my words. This is a promise is a debt, all right? There's that proverb from back in the day when we learned proverbs in primary school. A promise is a debt. I am not. The Jerkyology episodes are coming. Just please bear with me. The problem is that, and by the way, in the dedications, I should have included some of my folks, my buddy, first of all, my niece, her name, I'm not going to say her real name, but let's just say it rhymes with mate, mate or matey. Let's just put it that way. My niece and a dear friend of mine out in Kansas, professor out in Kansas. I'm not going to mention her name either because I just don't have her permission. But these are two ladies, these are two women, and they happen to be black women who I've requested, like I would love to have. I don't for the Jerkyology episodes. I want to have. I really want to have a woman's perspective. Because again, I'm covering part of what I'm talking about is the topic of misogyny, and so I just don't feel as a ostensibly, let's just say ostensibly, or just just outright male at birth, and heterosexual, whatever. I don't. I would like. I really want to have a woman's perspective, somebody who identifies as a woman, at birth or in general, in terms of like just to discuss the topic of misogyny. So those episodes are coming. Just please bear with me. All right. So anyway, and then episodes 2 to 5 of the LLP YCLA topics. Now here we were covering problem solving in the digital age. That was the first one. Second one was how to learn anything. Third was intro to coding, and finally, the last of those topics was learning statistics, and data science. All right, and then there was another interlude there before the last set, and that was just, I'm calling it part 0 more or less. It was an overview of the PMP exam episodes. And finally, episodes 6 to 10 were parts 1 to 5 of the PMP exam how-to videos. All right, let's just try to not to race through, but to just kind of like be brisk. I don't want to make this too long. Like I said, lessons learned. So what have I learned in this? I just wanted to kind of just share some of the lessons I've learned from this blogging challenge. And this is in the context of I'm talking about in the context of just our personal just self improvement and like just kind of overall just good performance, self improvement. What have I learned? Lesson number one is like the Nike slogan: just do it, just do it, right? And and I say here, sorry for the yelling because nowadays the convention is all caps, especially online. But I feel like is it spreading elsewhere now, like even offline or whatever. That's all caps is yelling. But look, I just want to emphasize it: just do it. Okay, meaning if you want to do something, okay, you want to do a business, you want to start a business, you want to do a creative project or a DIY home renovation or something like that. Don't dilly dally. Don't procrastinate. You have what it takes. Just do it. You do really okay. Like you do have what it takes, and just don't do an injustice to yourself of like dilly dallying and whatnot. Right. Lesson two. And I have it. I have a cliche alert here because I feel like this is a bit of a cliche, and and it's which. So first, let me just kind of lesson number two is be yourself. Just be yourself. But and it's a cliche for sure. Like I feel like it is. But at the same time, it's such a and it's a truism. You would think it's a truism, all right? And but at the end of the day, it's a good lesson to teach ourselves in terms of just be yourself. Don't pretend to be somebody that you're not. But at the same time, there's that tension between being our kind of authentic selves and then remembering the environment that you're in. So, for instance, if you're at work, right? Okay, you have it like most of us work like pretty much. Anybody unless you're I guess a trust fund baby or something like that or whatever or like well you either you have to at one point in your life you'll work right even like if you're our grandparents or whatever or older folks that are retired the point is you have a job at some point right and when you're at work or when you're in public let's say okay let's get away from working um you cannot we have freedoms but you cannot infringe on other folks freedoms right and so be yourself, but be appropriate as well. So you cannot be in public and then you strip your clothes and start running around naked. Just a random example there for you. Feel me? So just so you wanna like one time in class, one of my students said, I asked them this question in class. I said, it was I said it was in the context of job interviews. I said, what do you guys think about that? So how come we always say, yeah, be yourself, but then and then job interviews you have to like is that being fake? And then one of my students goes, how about be your professional self? Every once in a while, the student just says something so insightful that it blows you away, right? So be yourself indeed, but be appropriate. Try to strike a balance. So for instance, with the Drakeology series, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because, and I don't mind admitting to the fact that I don't support his like rough edges or like kind of all the misogynistic overtones in his music, but just there's a lot more to him than that, right? Like, and I am a fan, and I don't mind admitting that, and I'm gonna do the. But for instance, with that, like, there's some discomfort there. Like when you here in my channel, I have a video list. I believe the video list, kind of the video lists are public, right? In terms of curation, where I've compiled as part of the Drakeology series, I've compiled a bunch of all his songs, and I try to look for the clean ones, meaning the ones where the cussing words or just bad words, to put it in a as, as we'd say it as kids. I try to like get the clean versions of the music. So there's that tension because like but at the same time let's not so that's because this is an appropriate it's part of this is number one his music itself it's art right music in general it could be rock and roll it could be rap music or hip hop or whatever right and it's art and so there's themes music folks singers or rappers talk about sex or talk about money or whatever and it might come off as uncouth it might be like kind of just not a cool message and maybe they might say oh talk about glorifying violence or whatever right? And so, so again, this is just to like, to drive this point home in terms of be yourself. Is like you want to strike that balance. Is what I have here. Just another way to put it, to where you want to. It's true, but at the same time, it's like, just use your discretion. Just strike that balance. Is how I'm like is how I'm expressing it right here. Okay, try to strike that balance. Just but at the same time, don't pretend to be who someone you're not. And finally, and I'm just gonna leave that there. The confidence and like lesson number 3 is confidence and mindfulness. Uh, it wasn't easy. In fact, it was very very hard. Just going back to which like the PMP series, right? You can imagine how hard it was for me to just put myself on the line, to stick my neck out and just do how to do. I didn't even give it some like looking back now. It's like later on. Remember in the overview video, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna say the date because in case I fail. And the date was the 27th of this month, okay, of September. Now I passed, right? But like looking back, it's like, regardless, even if I hadn't like, yes, I did not set the date, but like it eventually, sooner or later, I guess, eventually it occurred to me. I said, you know what? Oh wow, like if I fail, I guess, folks will be able to tell because I won't be using the what do you call it, the credential in my name, which right. But guess what? Like at the end of the day, so that's why I'm saying here confidence, right? Just be confident. It's related. It's related to numbers 1 and 2. You know, just do it and just be yourself. Um, at the end of the day, we all each of us we have our own styles, so to speak. You feel me? And get to know who you are and be true to yourself. And it might not be as easy. It might be easier said than done, but it's doable. That's what I'm saying. And so mindfulness. Mindfulness is very complex. Like it's one of those topics which I love. I'm a practitioner of mindfulness. I can call myself an amateur practitioner because I feel like it's to be a real or a professional. Well, I don't know if there's a professional practitioner, or maybe there is. You'd have to be a guru, I guess, right? But it's mindfulness is all about kind of living in the moment, uh, enjoying the present, and not dwelling on the past or dwelling too much on the future. You know, we've been through happy events, sad events, and then we have all these fancy plans for the future. But yes, go ahead and like learn from the past, appreciate your memories, the good ones, whatever. But then and then do your fancy plans, right? But in the moment, like you want to live in the moment, and it has to do a lot with it's one of the like a central technique, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not sure, and it's the topic. I find it very. It's both like it's a bit of a what's the word? It's paradoxical. Like it's paradoxically easy and hard at the same time in terms of like just understanding and practicing. Especially practicing is really hard, right? But at the end of the day, like I think um, one of the central ways to practice it is through meditative breathing. Okay, just breathe. Remember to breathe. All right, pause and just breathe. Like you got like it's not. No one's chasing you. A lot of the time, we put this pressure on ourselves. All right, and it's I think like with less like this is in relation to lesson number 1 up here. That pressure that we put on ourselves is all the time because we want to be perfectionists, right? Or we're afraid we're gonna fail, etc., etc. Okay, which again, I guess this is and also has to do with like confidence, right? But at the end of the day, do not put that pressure on yourself. Breathe, take it easy. You can do this. You have what it takes, and so right, that's what I mean by the mindfulness bit there. Okay. Finally, and I'm about to wrap up here. What next? So, so the self challenge, learn who you are. What number 2 here is what I'm saying. Be yourself, and like there's all this again. The context is number 1 and 2. The context is productivity and knowing and just being the best you. And so for me, the self challenge is a very good like the concept of self challenges for me works. And so a lot of us, I know I have a friend of mine, well, I had a colleague out somewhere, or where I taught once that for them they do this. They like giving themselves artificial deadlines, or so you know who you are, you know how best you work. So as you learn that, just implement it. Now, for me, self challenges tend to work. And also, another technique for me is self accountability, especially when publicly broadcast. When I tell my friends, like I remember with teaching, I tell my students a lot of the time. I'm like, listen, if I haven't graded your papers by X date, like a week from now, 2 weeks from now, everybody, I'm gonna give you all 5 extra points or something. And that always works in the sense that I never that never I always grade the papers on time, because honestly, that's me not doing my job right. Like, and like if that comes to pass, and then the grading is messed up, like, that's just then it's not going to be really truly reflective of a class performance, and you can't you're not doing the students a service for that. Where does that, like, even though we want to, you might want me to just pass you, whatever. Feel me? Like, but like the point is, for me, self challenges work, and so I'm gonna just continue with them. So, for instance, for the this month coming up, this is what I'm gonna do. Like the languages, this is like a permanent kind of. It's a hobby, languages. I tend to be a lover of languages. I'm multilingual already. I have two native languages. English is a native language of mine, as is Luganda as well. I speak, fluent Luganda, and very basic. Swahili, really, I should speak Swahili, but Uganda is one of in East Africa. The Swahili really is not good, right? But and so for me, the point though is here. I'm just kind of sharing what I'm gonna be some of the self challenges that I'm gonna do going forward, and that's like, for instance, like the languages I just mentioned, and coding and data science. I already have the basics down pat, more or less, but for you to like really this, and I haven't scare quotes the full mastery, because can you really ever say you've achieved full mastery? But yeah, you can, in the sense of like, you can actually do, depending on the purpose, like what are you trying to do, you can do it adequately. Certainly for jobs. Now, my goal with data science, with coding and data science, for me, it's not to be a software engineer or a data. I am a data scientist. That like I already am, but again, in what context? And project management is my specific in terms of like the applied fields in terms of like a job. I'm also an academic. I'm a professor, but in terms of like as a practitioner, project management is my main field, and so I want to have enough knowledge, certainly enough knowledge in terms of like coding and data science to be able to do my job right as a project manager. So because if I'm like the project manager of a software project, etc., or IT project, that kind of thing, and usually a lot of project management jobs are in those fields: software development, IT, and construction as well, and design, and those kind of fields, right? So for me, this is what I have. But again, the point I've tried to make there, because this is, I don't want to be self-centered. I'm saying for everybody else, like just the point, I guess. I started off saying it. I'm gonna say it again as I end the point. Learn who you are, right? Going back to the previous slide, learn who you are, and then just oops, wrong one. Like lesson number 2 here, related to like what I'm saying, and the current slide is related to this one, and lesson number 2 from earlier. Do whatever you have to do to achieve self mastery, basically. Okay, and actually that right here, segue, like it's just kind of that was a good segue, because for me, self mastery, it also it brings up the question of like who are like you want to achieve self mastery, you want to like be you the best version of yourself. Well, how do you know that? Who are you, right? And we all have different things that make us happy, different purposes in life in terms of like whatever we feel. Like many of us just maybe um, a lot of us like jobs tend to kind of, or careers tend to like take up this huge importance in our lives, right? In terms of like, you know what, what are so what do you do for like in terms of what do you do for a living becomes a huge part of your personality, right? Of your persona. In my case, I've realized over time in terms of like who am I, right? What's important to me. I've realized over time that guess what? Helping people, right? Helping and learning, those are really, that's at the end of the day, that is the real me. Those are two of the most important things in my life. Helping folks, helping other folks and learning and teaching. So sharing knowledge. So this is I should, you can summarize this as a sharing knowledge, right? So helping folks, helping my fellow human beings, learning and then or sharing knowledge, learning from folks, teaching folks, right? Family, friends, students, strangers, like on YouTube, for instance. Okay, and so for me, that's. But we all, again, the point here is for you, what does that mean? And my encouragement to you is just do it. And then finally, I'm just gonna take the highlight out of this one day at a time. All right, and just I'm gonna take it one day at a time. We all have, long-lived people, and you can learn anything. Those campaigns are encouraging us to like kind of be our best selves and to like make use of technology to like ease our lives and whatnot. You can learn anything, especially and just like for the PMP, for instance. These have to do with like success. But what does that mean? And we've already talked about um, mindfulness in the previous slide. I'm just gonna stay here for like, but like we've talked about mindfulness and self mastery. But as you do all that, again, just breathe one day at a time. Okay, you got this. You have what it takes to succeed, and just don't. There's no need for you to put all this pressure on yourself. Okay. All right, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this series. Those of you that have watched it, all them all, I'm guessing that's not a lot of folks. Hey, oh well, but or if you come across this video and then you've somehow you've watched till the end, well, if you enjoy the videos, by all means, go watch them. And like I'm saying here, in all seriousness, this being the last video of the September series of the self challenge series. Um, whether or not I do more videos in the future, the jerkyology series I have to do because I've pledged to do them, right? So that I just have to like for my own, just being a person of my word, talking about who you are, like just self mastery and all that, right? And the teaching and whatnot. The jerkyology I have to do though, but like, the point I'm making here is, please, you like these videos, like them, share them, subscribe to the channel for real, because like then I know that you know what, hey, my videos are helpful and I should do more. But if I don't know that, then I cannot do more videos, right? All right. I've gone on more than long enough. I believe closer to maybe 30-ish minutes or whatever than I would have wanted to stick to the 20-minute mark. Anyway, it's been really enjoyed doing these videos over the month of September 2023, and thank you for just joining me for them. I hope you've enjoyed them, and I hope you will be back to the channel if and or when I make more videos. Okay, thank you so much. Bye for now.